A lot of people in the national media think that Jordan Love is going to be a bum. But let me play devil's advocate. What if Jordan Love can actually play? What if this dude actually has that dog in him and he ends up being the proper successor to succeed Aaron Rodgers? You remember when Brett Favre got traded away to the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers came in? This dude was really good. The Green Bay Packers, for the most part, they have a really good eye for spotting a franchise quarterback. These guys have not missed that quarterback all too often over the last couple of decades. And if Jordan Love ends up being really good, how good will Green Bay be this season? We're quick to want to give the NFC North to the Detroit Lions, but if the Green Bay Packers get really good quarterback play out of Jordan Love, this team is going to be able to win this division. They have a really good offensive line. The offensive line may not be good as what it used to be in the past, but it's still going to be good enough to win this division. The wide receiving core is absolutely fantastic. You got Romeo Doubs. You got Christian Watson, who is going crazy for me on my fantasy football team last year. Like, this dude, Christian Watson, was carrying my fantasy football team on his back. You got a really talented tight end and Luke Musgrave. You got Jalen Reed out of Michigan State, a wide receiver that I really loved a lot. He was really fun to watch during his time at Michigan State. He reminds me a lot of George Pickens. So you're going to give Jordan Love a really good group of wide receivers to throw the football to. He's going to have a pretty good offensive line. And the run game is still going to be pretty good also. You're going to have Aaron Jones, who is a top 10 back. A.J. Dillon is also pretty good. And this defense, I don't really know, because they still retain Joe Barry as their defensive coordinator, so we don't really know. But the talent is there for this defense to be good. This defense last season did play good at times. It's not like they were completely terrible every single game. They definitely had their moments. They definitely showed some flashes of what they could be when Joe Barry actually knows what he's doing as the play caller. If Jordan Love is good, how good do y'all think the Green Bay Packers are? I think if Jordan Love ends up playing at a Pro Bowl caliber level, the Green Bay Packers are a 9-10 win football team. Hell, they just might be a 10+ win football team if Jordan Love ends up playing at a good level. He was able to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a couple of years. Now, even though the Green Bay Packers got a lot of scrutiny when they traded up for Jordan Love, and many people bashed them for drafting the quarterback that wasn't going to be able to start for them in the immediate future, he's starting now. He's had plenty of time to learn this system, learn this offense, so I don't think he's going to be going into a situation where he's going to have to get the chemistry down. He's still going to be learning the playbook, adjusting to the NFL. Like, this man has been in the NFL with the same franchise, with the same head coach, for a couple of years. He should already have a good grasp of the system. He should come in to Green Bay week 1 starting and look like a vet. This man shouldn't come out and struggle like how he did when he had to start against Kansas City a while back. He also has been putting a lot of time in with his young wide receivers, something that Aaron Rodgers kind of didn't really put a lot of emphasis on doing. Aaron Rodgers didn't really take the time to build that camaraderie, that chemistry, that timing with these young wideouts last year. Now, give it, they did go through a good amount of injuries. But Jordan Love, this dude actually has a lot of talent to be one of the better quarterbacks in this conference. When you look at the NFC right now, there's not a lot of great quarterbacks. There's a lot of good quarterbacks like Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins, but you don't really have too many elite quarterbacks. I mean, if Geno Smith can ball out with the Seattle Seahawks, Jordan Love can most definitely ball out with the Green Bay Packers. People have like the Green Bay Packers just have a terrible situation around Jordan Love. I understand that people have their reservations about Coach LaFleur because this guy did have the benefit of coaching Aaron Rodgers, the guy who won the MVP twice under LaFleur being the head coach. But I don't think this dude is a novice. Mike McCarthy, his last season, he didn't do anything with Aaron Rodgers. The Green Bay Packers, when they had Mike McCarthy as their head coach and Aaron Rodgers as their QB, oftentimes went to the playoffs and disappointed. You look at Jordan Love with Coach LaFleur, I think they could end up being something special. Jordan Love has a really strong arm. He's a pretty good athlete. Now, he's not somebody that's going to overwhelm you with his mobility, but he can extend plays. With him being able to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for so many years, there's no reason why this guy should come in and just be a bum or a scrub like how many people are making him out to be. Like, give this man a chance. If Jordan Love is good, this is a playoff team without a doubt, even if this defense isn't good under Joe Barry. The Chicago Bears aren't going to be all that great. The Detroit Lions are going to be up there. We don't know about the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, they do get Brian Flores as their defensive coordinator, and that will help them, but I don't think their defense is going to go from what it was last year to being a top 5, top 10 defense. I think at best, the Minnesota can have a top 13 defense. And you got to remember that Minnesota was one of the luckiest teams in NFL history. There's a strong chance that they can come out this year and look really flat. If Jordan Love is good, I expect for the Green Bay Packers to be competing with the Detroit Lions in Minnesota for the NFC North. And a lot of Lions fans are probably going to watch this and you're probably going to be like, man, JT, like, this bum ain't going to be no good. No, you Lions fans are hoping that Jordan Love ain't good. You better hope that Jordan Love ain't good, because if he is, you're going to have another decade of great quarterback play and another good QB giving you nightmares every time you play him. I see why Lions fans were so ready for Aaron Rodgers to get traded for the New York Jets. The New York Jets were the only people who were celebrating when they got Aaron Rodgers. New York Jets fans were really happy to get A-Rod, but Detroit Lions fans were really happy to get A-Rod out of the division because they think that Jordan Love is going to be a bum. And that's why I'm here to play devil's advocate, because if he's not, if you're a Lions fan or a Vikings fan or a Bears fan, you're going to be really upset, because if Green Bay ends up actually striking gold with Jordan Love, they're going to still end up terrorizing this division for the next decade. And Jordan Love, he does have some game. He has a really good arm. I do think that he is a pretty good athlete. He's not a burner. He's not a blazer or anything like that. But if you give him some green grass, he can make you pay. There's a reason why Green Bay traded back into the first round to select this man. And even though we can make fun of Green Bay for how they go about just disregarding drafting elite playmakers in the first round, they do a pretty good job when it comes to finding good players in the draft. I can't recall too many players that Green Bay has drafted that haven't worked out. Of course, every franchise has their fair share of misses. But for the Green Bay Packers, though, with Jordan Love, I think there's a good possibility that this man can actually be a pretty good QB. He knows the system. He should come into week 1 this year and look like a seasoned veteran. It's not like this guy's in his first or second year into the NFL. He's learning a new playbook with an entirely different coaching staff. This is the same coaching staff that has been with him mostly since he first got drafted. He's been studying this playbook, learning this offense for the last couple of years, so he should know all the checkdowns, all the calls, all the protections. There shouldn't be too much that Jordan Love should have to learn outside of getting timing down with his teammates. If Jordan Love is good, the Green Bay Packers are going to be competing for the NFC North this year with the Detroit Lions. I know you Detroit Lions fans are hoping that the opposite happens. And there definitely is a strong possibility that Jordan Love could stink and he might not be good. But if this guy is good, Green Bay is going to be a legitimate contender in this division. And when it comes to them potentially being a Super Bowl contender, I think that probably won't come for the next 2-3 years. But I do think if Jordan Love ends up panning out, they could end up being even better than what they were Aaron Rodgers. Because Aaron Rodgers, you know, there were certain things about his personality that kind of hindered Green Bay. And Green Bay didn't really do a good job of surrounding Aaron Rodgers with the necessary weapons needed to compete for a Super Bowl. They already have a really good group of wide receivers: Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Jalen Reed. So, I mean, they already have enough playmakers to be able to be a threat in this division and in this conference for the foreseeable future. So you don't really have to worry about them saying, oh, man, we need more help at wide receiver. That's already been addressed. They got 3 pretty good ones. They got Luke Musgrave at tight end out of Oregon State. This dude was really good. He does have an issue with drops at times, but he's a pretty solid tight end. And they got a pretty good offensive line. I don't think it's a top 10 offensive line. I think it's an average to slightly above average offensive line if everybody's able to stay healthy. And this defense, like I said, with Joe Barry returning as a DC, I don't really know what the hell it's going to do. But I think there are going to be some games where this defense actually does show up and they have some pretty good performances. They just might not be all that consistent. But if Jordan Love ends up being good, the Packers are going to be competing for this division, and they probably are going to be in the playoffs. The NFC is not all that talented this year. Outside of the Philadelphia Eagles, the 49ers, and the Seahawks and the Lions, who else in this conference do you think is going to be able to get into the playoffs? Do you really trust Daniel Jones, Washington, Dallas? I mean, Dallas scapegoated Kellen Moore. I don't know how that's going to play out. I mean, they still got Dan Quinn. Their defense is still going to be really good, but I don't think Dallas is as big as a guarantee that some people make them out to be. So if Jordan Love is good, man, I think the Green Bay Packers could have another good decade of football where they're terrorizing the rest of the teams in this division. They have way better ownership historically than every team in this division. They do a pretty good job of building a pretty good team. It's just that when they had Aaron Rodgers, for some reason, they just refused to give this man what he wanted. And I do think that some of that was on Aaron Rodgers being the drama queen. Y'all know how Aaron Rodgers is. This guy took a darkness retreat. This dude was promoting psychedelics, and there's nothing against psychedelics, but it's just like, damn, Aaron Rodgers, like, you're a little bit out there. So for Jordan Love, I think that if he ends up panning out and being really good for the Green Bay Packers, I think that they're going to end up still dominating this division for the foreseeable future, even though the Lions may have a couple of good years. Maybe the Vikings snag a couple of division titles here and there. But I think for the most part, I'm still rocking with Green Bay. This is one of the better organizations in the NFL. They may not be as good as what they used to be, given how they did Aaron Rodgers. But I do think that a lot of the Green Bay Packers struggles at times also had to be put on the shoulders of Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers truthfully got enough blame for some of the Green Bay Packers shortcomings in the postseason. We look at Aaron Rodgers and his greatness and we talk about the bad man. But it's like at the same time, his personality at times was kind of hard to get along with. With Jordan Love, he doesn't have as much ego as Aaron Rodgers. This dude is going to be coachable. He's going to take more time to get to know his teammates, build a chemistry and rapport with his teammates. And I think that's going to pay off dividends for Jordan Love if this guy ends up being good.